Alright, fellas, because I complained about the little baker. I complained about, I wish that we had more backstory for the little baker that would explain why she was like that. And then Zephram, the translator, told me to go for her FTEs. That would explain more. I'm like, oh, I wish it was more incorporated in the main game. So I was looking for a way to do the FTEs of her, and then I realized there was already a folder inside the game that says FTE save. So let's go with that. I put it here to save slot number 2. Let's see, what do we have? Ah, I see. We already got gifts. How many do we have though? How many monicons do we have? 70. Holy shit, dude. So what we need to do is look for the little baker and beginner FTEs. Where could she be? Here? I don't think. Oh, chapter 0 is. Wait, is it chapter 0? Oh, chapter 1. Okay. Where is she? Do not override save slot number 2. We are getting her FTEs. There she is. Wait. How can I open the? Oh, there you go. Shift. I am gonna save here at save slot number 3. Hey, are you investigating? Should I spend time? Yeah. Want to talk to me? Well, maybe for a minute. What do you want to talk about? Something that makes sense. I spent some time chatting with Fukuoka. Make it make sense. Give her a present. Baking powder. She loved that. Yes. A present? Wow, I've always wanted one of these. Can I have it? Really, I'm so grateful. Fukuoka seems to like it a lot. Awesome. Okay, this is boring. That's a pretty harsh thing to say to someone's face. Oh, of course, I don't mean that I'm bored talking to you. I'm just saying that this is my whole life in this academy now. It's understandable if you're stuck in a cramped space, unable to interact with people outside of your classmates. You said it so well that it sounds like a broken record. Is that so? Maybe it's because I don't remember ever talking to the outside world or anyone else. So it's that memory loss thing again? Must be painful. It doesn't bother me that much. It's been said that people who had their vision lost have a harder time adjusting than those who were born blind. The memory of losing something is what keeps a person in prison. I have that memory expunged, so it's not as bad as you think. No, it's serious, I know that. What do you mean? Isn't it almost torture not to eat bread from my favorite bakery brand, Kotori? I thought this was about to be a serious moment. Sure, bread is rationed in the school's kitchen, but it's not even close to the quality of our branded recipe. Whether the black and white teddy bear is making them or whether they've hired another baker, I'm appalled that they put something that cheap in front of me. So I purposefully don't even look at the bread when I eat. It's a disgrace to put that crap in my mouth. You have a lot of confidence, don't you? Of course, you'd be more convinced if you tried our brand of bread. What a shame. Fukuoka then looked genuinely depressed. Wonder if this is something that would cause her to feel so discouraged. If that's too bad, why not bake some bread here? What? You said it was a shame. If I tried some of the bread you make here, I'd have a pretty good idea of how you feel. No, I can't. Is it too much to ask? It's not a mental issue. The kitchen in the diner of the school, if that makes sense, is not stocked with flour. Hey, isn't that the same excuse she said in the in the trial? Yeah, the trial. I'd love to cook, but it's just not possible. You mean bake? No, is that why you said you were bored earlier? Exactly. When you have nothing better to do, I might as well need some dough. But no matter how much I rummage through our pantry, there's no flour. How can that make any sense? The girl in front of me was waving her arms in the air and ranting. I couldn't see her anger clearly because of her small size, but I could tell she was genuinely angry. The kitchen is useless. I might go crazy at this rate. Ugh. Now that you mention it, I'm a little curious. What is baking to you? Well, that's quite a sudden abstract question, isn't it? What to say? It's the only thing I've ever accomplished in my life. It's a big deal and it somehow became a part of me. Do you understand? Yeah, I know what that feels like. Do ya? Yeah, you understand quickly. To tell the truth, I wasn't satisfied. The fact that it was her only accomplishment made me even more curious. Yay. Earned 1 skill point. Thinking about her, asking her another time, I parted ways with Fukuoka and returned to the private room. Okay. What was the control to skip the dialogue again? Where do we go? Where is she in the cafeteria again? I hope so. Come out. Okay, nothing. Maybe she's in the classrooms with everybody else, like Misaki and stuff. Remember the group events? Group free time events? Yeah, that's it. I'm gonna save here. And are you ready? Would you like to explanation? No. No. Oh, okay, so I can't just pick them and stuff. Oh, right, the arm wrestling match. This is the part where I was very suspicious because of all the people that was great at the arm wrestling match. It was Kotori. And that was the thing that made me click during the trial. I'm like, yeah. I remember that scene. It was very important. See? The match is over. The winner's Fukuoka Qatari. That was easy. Be honest, you were confident because I was small, didn't you? I'd be lying if I said I wasn't. Saki's correct. The day before I enrolled in school, I was kneading dough at Kotori number 1. Of course, I'm naturally confident in my arm strength. See? So I have to skip this event. Got more? Awesome. Come on, let's go for Kotori this time. Again. Hope they're not in the group free time event again. There she is. Get a save here. Yep. Spend some time. Give her a gift. Baking powder. Yep. So, what did you come back to ask? I don't have any agenda. I'm just here to talk. Oh, really? So it doesn't matter what I say? Yeah, come up with a topic if you want. Another fun suggestion. Well, it's a good place to start. Fukuoka put her hand on her chest. Me, the talented Kotori Fukuoka. I had a feeling a snowstorm was coming. First, I'm normally the ultimate baker, but baking and confectionery go hand in hand, so I'm also an expert in pastry. If you know about baking, you can't possibly not know about confectionery. Plus, there are many people who confuse the two, but it is also true that there is an essential difference. The first difference that comes to mind is the use of the yeast. Here's a surprise. Do you know how we call yeast? You think I don't know that much? Oh, you sound confident. Then tell me, what is it? Yeast is, god damn it. Enzyme? It's enzyme. It's like a fungus that contributes not only to baking but also for making alcohol. Wrong, so you just pretended to know. You were just acting cool, huh? Yep. That's wrong. It's not enzymes, it's yeast. It's one word apart, but they're two different things. I see. Oh, can I, what do you call that? Can I replay? How do I replay it? I won't stand for this. I don't want to accept my defeat. Okay. Sound confident to tell me, what is it? Yeast again? A yeast? A fungus that is not only for baking but to making of alcohol. Say exact, so you know the basics. If you know that it's a fungus, it's easy to explain. Yeast is used to make bread rise but is not used in confectionery. That's the main difference. Other than that, is that baked goods use more sugar, in fact, sometimes more sugar than flour. I don't use that much in bacon. There's also a difference in the flour used. Baking requires stronger flours. Semolina, how do you pronounce that? For confectionery, I don't know how it's pronounced. Translators note, semolina is a type of coarse flour that's made from durum wheat, often used to make pasta. Ooh, I love pasta. The difference between the two is the difference between the texture of bread and sweets. If you're a modern human being, you've probably eaten bread and sweets at some point, right? It's probably easier for you to understand the experience than for me to describe it in words. Oh right, you said you lost your memory. Again, that's real torture. Just try it once and you'll understand what I mean. She's so eager. What's with the "you're so eager" look? I can tell you from over a decade of baking experience that if you've never eaten a bread, you've lost half your life. From the way it hits your tongue to the way it spreads, to the texture, to the flavor that lingers in your mouth after you swallow, it's perfection. So you're the chief baker for the brand, right? Yeah, that's right. I'm guessing a lot of the recipes for the bread came from you, right? No, it's not that simple. Fukuoka gently waved her hand. All of it. All of Kotori's bread recipes are in my hands. It didn't go through anything, it's still in my hands. It's only me who's involved from start to finish. I've heard that Qatari is a pretty big company. You're the only one involved in the recipe? Of course, help from others will only get in the way. What's with the look on your face? Oh, is it because I'm too full of myself? That's not the only reason, but you're not just bragging, you're self-aware. Fufu, I can't help it. It's true, so forgive me. Bragging has always been fun. That it's time to introduce our brand Kotori, so keep your ears open. What? No, I've heard enough. When our brand opened its first franchise in LA at 20XX, that was... Weird one skill. After listening to the long story from Fukuoka, I returned to my private room exhausted. Oh god. Company history. I can skip this part, right? So we got two free time events for Kotori. I'm thinking 3 more. Yeah, 3 more. Hey, there she is again. Cool. So 3 more FTEs for Kotori. Then we're done with her. Yep. Give her a gift. I saw this sliced cake, but pretty sure mint candy is also good too. Yeah. Oh, she doesn't like it. Okay, let's repeat that. Sliced cake. What else can I give her? Other than that, green tea bag, butter. She might like butter. Yeah. Air shop, AR, Loa coffee, milk puzzle, buttons, dice, Turkish delight. What is this? Mechanical aroma, is it mine? Oh well, just give her the thingy. Yeah. Oh, thanks, I'll take care of it. Fukuoka seems indifferent. Oh, indifferent. Will it increase the intimacy though? Hey Miyuki, what do you want to talk about today? It's a bit of a pain to think about the long story last time. That's not a reason to pass her by. I'll have to persevere to get to know her a little better. I was curious about something while listening to your long talk last time. Wanted to hear it in detail. Long talk? Well, that's quite a dismissive tone. Oops, I accidentally said what I thought. No, I meant it was a lot of information. I don't mean anything by it. What an excuse. What I want to hear today is that brand called Kotori. When Kotori's name was called, Fukuoka's cheeks puffed out in displeasure and her complexion visibly brightened. Qatari, I'd like to, but didn't I tell you most of the story last time? I heard a lot, but not enough. A story about the place you occupy in Qatari. Today's purpose is to hear that in more detail. Fukuoka put a finger to her cheek and paused. Her old self would have started being smug right away, right? You don't mind if I tell you? Are you hesitating? I'm a little surprised. Surprised? What part is surprising? Well, I thought at least you were kind of a person who doesn't mind bragging about yourself. So that's what you were saying. Well, you're not wrong. I actually like to brag. What's wrong? Of course, I don't mind being asked to tell a story. The problem is your reaction. Bragging is also flavor, but I hope that the listener will respond in kind or at least not get bored. But it's snowstorm comment. I can't let that one go. Besides, the conversation started with you talking to me first. It's too much when you show that you appear bored. Fukuoka turned her head away, a look of disgust on her face. I couldn't help myself. I apologize. I started this conversation by reaching out. I guess my attitude wasn't the best. Alright, fine, that's enough. I'll take that apology. With that, she bent backwards as if to relent. However, an apology and a punishment are clearly two different things, and an apology doesn't necessarily exempt you from a punishment. So this is your punishment. I'll tell you what you want to hear the next time we meet. Until then, no talking. That's my punishment? Why not? You wanted to hear it. Do you usually get paid to not let people do what they want to do? Well, it's nothing. It just seems too harsh for punishment. You should have listened to others more carefully then. So shall we stop talking today? There's nothing to hear from you anyway because of the punishment. Okay, go back to your private room and reflect. Why do I feel like I'm playing with a child when I'm clearly talking to a high school student like myself? Earned 1 skill point. Okay, let's see. Did it increase her intimacy? Shit-a-did-um. Oh yeah, it did. Let's go to the store. Looks like the slice of cake is indifferent for her. Baking powders for sure she loves. Or likes. She was indifferent with a slice of cake? That's weird. So I got baking powder and butter. I hope that's enough for her. Now where could she be? Cafeteria? Probably. Let's see. Let's go to her. 2 more FTEs. At last, I found you. Free? What did she say? Hey Miyuki, are you investigating? Yep. Okay. Give her a gift. Baking powders for sure. Yep. Oh, you're confidently making the first move. You're sure you're ready to listen without getting annoyed? Of course, I'll listen to your every word to the bone. You must be really confident to even joke about it. So we can begin. The story of Kotori and me's inseparable relationship. It was a long-winded, pretentious conversation, but I started it to hear this. I held my breath and listened to her. As you might have guessed, Qatari is named after me. That doesn't mean the brand is owned by my family or relatives. It belongs to my mother's friend, my sensei. Sensei? Yeah, from what I hear, he's an old friend of my mom's. Did you say that they were an elementary school classmate? Or did you say they were in college? I don't remember that. Moving on, apparently, Sensei used to have drinks with my father and mother at my house, and he would come up with business ideas. When we were thinking about trademarks, he looked at me, still a kid, and realized this was it. It was a small bakery, and that's how it got its name, not a giant franchise it is today. Sounds like you were pretty close to each other. He treated me almost like a daughter, because he was a celibate man, and of course he had no self-control. Well, it may be that being a single person is just a packaging thing and simply missed the right age. You really don't hold back against your teacher. Heh, doesn't that mean we were that close? Anyway, as much as he loved me, I followed him a lot, and he had a huge influence on me in finding my talent. What was the huge influence? I never would have thought to dip my toes into the ocean of baking if it weren't for him. Who else would be happy to see me whenever I came to visit, and who else would be willing to lend me their kitchen when I expressed an interest in bacon? I wouldn't know. He even cut his hours to support me when I showed unexpected talent. Of course, my talent was great, but he was the one who made Kotori the bakery that it is today. I'm a little embarrassed to say it, but my parents weren't all that interested in my talents. They weren't poor, but they didn't want to stand out too much. I would never have dreamed of studying abroad in a family like that. Did you study abroad? Oh, I didn't tell you, excusez-moi. I also studied abroad in France in elementary school on the strong recommendation of my sensei. You trust in your teacher must be absolute. It must have been a difficult decision to leave at that age. They're too close to each other, otherwise they wouldn't be so trusting of their only daughter. As expected from sensei, I conquered France, the home of bacon, with overwhelming talent and skill. Less than 2 years later, I moved back to Japan. After studying abroad, I started working at Qatari in earnest. At the time, Qatari was making a name for itself and opening branches all over the place. I'm sure it would have been a moderately successful business without me, but when I jumped in, the results were noticeably different. Due to my influence, sales skyrocketed, the name spread across the country, and eventually Kotori became the name of a huge franchise. It took me less than 5 years to get here. I think I'm missing quite a bit of explanation in the middle. Of course, it takes quite a bit of time for a neighborhood bakery to grow to the point where you can see franchises everywhere in Japan. Franchisees? But what can I say? Once I started developing recipes in earnest, the process was seamless. It happened in the blink of an eye, and I would tell you that even my sensei, who knew me better than anyone, couldn't believe it. To summarize, you're the one who's been taking the lead in Kotori, both now and in the past. Of course, without me, Kotori would never have gotten this far. I'll bet my 10 years of baking on it. So, what do you think after hearing my own saga? What kind of answer is preferable? It's just a heartfelt response. Overwhelming talent is scary. Or you didn't see it that way. Or you were surprised because I studied abroad. Don't pause, just say it. Don't you feel something at least? Well, if I had to pick one, is the existence of a teacher? Oh, that's pretty surprising. Unless of course you're a freak of nature and a self-taught baker, you've had a teacher who taught you the ropes. You and your teacher seem to have a pretty unique relationship. Unique? Well, me and him have a special relationship. A priesthood relationship that conquers the world with bread. That's something that's likely to be seen in cartoons everywhere. So, does that give you a new reaction? No? Do I need to do it again? And 1 skill point. Then I was able to return to my private room. Awesome. So 2 more. Is she in the cafeteria again? Or somewhere else? Yeah, oh, 1 more. Awesome. Yep. Give her a gift of, what would she like? What would she like? Foundation, mystery novel, cursed doll, green tea, butter. She might like butter. I'll take care of it. Indifferent. Okay. It's better than nothing, I guess. What? I went to talk to Fukuoka as usual. She was staring straight at me without answering. You. It was clear that she had something to say, but she was hesitant, as if she hadn't made up her mind. I stepped in. Well, do you have something to say? Perhaps my words had served as a starting point, but Fukuoka gave her answer so vaguely that her several minutes of hesitation were in vain. However, what came next was outside of my expectation. But it's a bit personal to say it here. Why don't we go somewhere else? Another place? How about your private room or somewhere else? Well, it's just you, so why not? Ooh, that's a lot of bread. Private room in Fukuoka was decorated like a small bakery with a fireplace, tables, and shelves. Still no flour, I guess. It only looks good, but everything from the bread in the display case to the oven is fake. Oh. With these words, Fukuoka offered me a chair attached to the table. Thanks. So, what is that personal story? If you were to bring me to a place like this, it wouldn't normally be a personal story. Fine, I'll say it when I'm ready. Fukuoka paused for a moment. You're here for one reason, to consult. Consult so suddenly? For you it's sudden, but for me, it's something I've been thinking about for a long time. Well, I'm a little curious as to why you came to me like this. Because you're the only one I'm going to talk to about this. Only me? No way. You've got a lot of people here that know you well. I'm sure you've got someone more comfortable and fun to play with than me. Sure, Miyuki, you're a little stiff, but you're also calm. At first glance, you don't seem like the kind of person I'd like to talk to about my problems. Fukuoka smiled and casually said something rude. And yet, you're the only one who's mentioned the topic in our discussions. Now that you put it that way. No. If Fukuoka wants me to specifically say it then, it's your teacher's story, isn't it? Correct. How did you know? I felt a little worried after talking to you the other day. I took a shot and it seems I was right. So I've been caught. I wouldn't even call it a hint. It was just an uneasy feeling that I wasn't sure about. I think you're right though. I came to you because honestly, I don't know myself. What's that supposed to mean? To put it simply, my self-esteem, which I didn't know was high, was holding me back. I really wondered what to do with this personality. The phrase sounds self-helping and self-mocking. How should I interpret this? This is the first time I've heard you describe your personality like that. Did you have any intention of fixing it and instead just saw it as an advantage? I have, but it's kind of funny. Once I realized what I was thinking. I'm definitely the best baker in the world, not only my teacher but also Adrian, the baker I met when I studied abroad. It's a fact known by my elite classmates, and the rest of the world recognizes this. But at some point I started to get this bad feeling. If I am better than him, how should I treat him? Oh, that was the feeling. In fact, Sensei was concentrating on other aspects of Qatari, such as the management, and when it comes to baking, I'm pretty much on top of everything. Of course, since I'm sitting in the CEO's chair and earning huge profits, it might be a bit of a stretch to worry, but I know we've been together since I was a kid. The truth is that Sensei's eyes shine the brightest when he's baking bread. But if only Sensei had run Kotori without me, I am certain that Kotori would not have grown this far. Which probably is because he wasn't a very good baker. And it dawned on me that my teacher was in the right place all along. I think this is the reason for the existence of criminals who were not born with it. This is what I used to think when I was an international student, watching my classmates being scolded for not getting their dough right and laughing at them. But are these thoughts directed towards Sensei too? A teacher who should be respected as a mentor or as another parent figure? All of this, it's one crazy idea. I could feel a deeper cleavage inside her than any other girl that I ever dealt with. I guess she was sincere about consulting her concerns. Huh, that's your problem, isn't it? You're afraid that being better than your teacher will make you look down on him? Yeah, that's why I'm spilling out my guts here. I guess this turned out a bit difficult for me. If you don't know the answer, don't bother. I don't want to waste your time. In a rare display of confidence, Fukuoka's face showed hesitation as she said this. No, it's okay. I already had an answer in mind. Oh really? Let's hear it then. Ask me and you'll listen. So suddenly, do we have to do that? Just kidding, I'll let you talk. Well... What now? Were you joking? Oh, that's adorable. I'd be lying if I said I didn't feel a certain sense of playfulness when I realized the conversation had been turned on its head. Now, I don't think I'll die even if I get hit by those small hands. Dude, she has a gorilla strength. Careful with that. Seriously, I thought I could have a serious conversation with you without the jokes. It's so unfamiliar that you're playing a prank in the first place. If you joke with that look on your face, everyone will believe you. I'm sorry. I'll say the truth now. As I listened to Fukuoka, I began to release the thoughts I had been organizing. You're a selfish person and you realize that. But I don't think that's a disadvantage because your selfishness has earned you the rare distinction of being an ultimate student. Of course, you'll need to be a little less selfish and wary of those around you, but it's hard to change your own nature. The best solution is to be yourself. Therefore, I want to tell you this: never stop bragging about yourself. I understand that your teacher is important to you and you want to do as little as possible to embarrass him. But look at the result. Your recipe ended up crushing the old master's recipe. The difference between skill and talent is obvious. Fukuoka adjusts her posture without saying a word. Does that mean she's not comfortable listening? Unfortunately, I didn't intend to stop there. But is that really a way to dishonor your teacher? When you think of the world, it's often seen as a sign of honor for a master to produce an even better student. So, of course, I don't dare to think what your master would think of you, but think about it. Your master discovered your talent and put in the work to keep it from going to waste. It's possible that your teacher doesn't consider your thoughts to be disrespectful in the slightest. Wouldn't it be great to have a kid you used to think of as your daughter and now she's an executive at a global company? So the conclusion is, it's best to tell your teacher the truth. Even if you feel offended, he'll laugh it off because you are the one who means the most to your teacher. Not a perfect solution after all. The perfect solution to this problem would be to eventually visit Sensei and have this awkward conversation. If I was the ultimate counselor, I might have found a better method, but personally, I thought this was the best. Well, of course, I couldn't solve the fundamental problem, but thanks to you, I think I heard the story that I liked. Don't hate your selfishness, because that is how you've earned the rare distinction of being an ultimate student. I thought it sounded pretty good to justify my overflowing narcissism. That was helpful, right? Still, thank you so much. It's the first time I've ever heard that kind of thing from anyone. I'm not sure if I handled it well, as this is my first experience with that. I thought we were just going to have a casual chat, but suddenly you're sharing something so deep. Well, that's a bit of a stretch. Should I apologize to you? Isn't that the polite thing to do? Even empty words are not polite behavior. Think of it as part of my narcissism and move on. That was a joke, I'm sorry. I sincerely apologize for that. She held out her small white hand with an apology. That's okay. It wasn't a topic I didn't want to hear in the end. Really? If it makes you feel better, and yes, if I could observe these personal aspects up close. And? Nothing. I accept your apology. I took Fukuoka's hands, which was facing me. Afterward, I spent more time talking with Fukuoka. I feel like I couldn't develop a bond any more deeper with Fukuoka. Awesome. Completed. What does her skill do? Skill punch. During non-subject, delete truth. What? Delete truth? 2 truth bullets that are not the correct answer? Holy shit, dude. Return to my prompt. That's actually really fucking helpful. Wow. Okay, so we did it. We did Fukuoka's FTEs. Next FTE is somebody else. Next time. So this is Danganronpa Mauve FTEs. Translation made by Zephyrum. Follow them more for more Danganronpa related stuff. Links are in the description. That is all for today. Stay safe and take care of yourselves.